It's Tom Anderson, day 18, 100 Days of Thankfulness. Today we're talking about the importance of fast food. So don't worry, I know a lot of my friends who are really into nutrition are freaking out right now. I'm not really condoning that we should go eat a bunch of fast food, especially after doing all those nutrition videos. Although, once in a while it's not going to kill you. Really what I'm talking about today is the second miracle. So it's the importance of fast food as it relates to the second miracle that occurred to me in 1993. So now I hadn't seen Casey Franklin in 7 years at this point. So the last time I saw him was in 1986. I was 16 years old, working behind the counter at my first job in Burger King. And I told this story already, but my last words to him, he approached me with the gospel. My last words to him were, "I just don't think I'm ready for this." And those words that I chose kind of haunt me because, here I was, I just read this book that was talking about the character of Jesus Christ, and I was thinking to myself, now I have a bunch of questions. And I know I can't turn to the Bible because I can't believe anything in there because I tried that already. And so I want to know more about Jesus at this point. And I was up in the cities and I was driving home to my house in Mankato at the time. And I got hungry, so on the way, I just stopped in Burnsville at Taco Bell just to get a quick bite to eat. And who was behind the counter ready to take my order but Casey Franklin. And so this was literally the next time I saw him since he had first approached me at Burger King. So, I walked up to him with a big smile on my face and I said, "Casey, I have a bunch of questions about Jesus Christ. What time do you get off work today?" And, sure enough, he was available to talk afterwards. He was just finishing his last week at Taco Bell there because he had now had his degree from Northwestern, and he was about to become a youth pastor, a full-time youth pastor at a local church. And so he was, I don't know what he was thinking there. He was probably wondering why God had put him there just for that little bit. But it's kind of funny the way that God works. I had shared with him when we were sitting down, kind of my viewpoint on God, and I shared with him, reincarnation and karma and how I believe it all works together for the universal good, and this all, so he basically let me talk and share with him kind of my own viewpoint, kind of what I had pieced together, and he was just like nodding his head, and then he kind of leaned back after I went on my rant, and he said, "Whoa, that's deep." And if you know Casey, that's just the way he is. He's like, if you guys know the old TV show Happy Days, there's this character in it who's the Fonz. And by Henry Winkler was the actor who played the Fonz, and he was always like the cool one that everyone wanted to hang around, and that was definitely Casey to a T when I was growing up. But he still had it, and he was just, everything that he was sharing with me at that point was, he was able to answer my questions, and my big question, one of the things he said was, have you tried reading the Bible? And I shared with him my struggle with that. And he's like, "Oh, you can't start in Genesis. You got to start in the Book of John." And so, I went home that night and I read the Book of John, and it was interesting reading it because it was really told from the perspective of someone that had been there and was experiencing all these events and experiencing all these miracles. And you did see the hypocrisy of the church. You did see so much of what you see today. And people, even when he's going around performing miracles, not everyone followed him. And a lot of people were just more interested in looking out for their own self-interest, and that's ultimately what led to his death on the cross. But really, there was a bigger plan for all that, and that all, it all made sense to me when I read the Book of John, that Jesus was here for a purpose, and his purpose was for our benefit, so that we could all be saved and go to heaven. And I think that's what I needed in its entirety. It wasn't enough for me when I was 16 years old just to hear the little snippet and then repeat these words. I needed to really know the whole story. And in written form in the book of John, that was it for me. I was a believer at that point. I believed in God. I believed in Jesus Christ. And so the next time I got together with Casey, I shared that with him. I started actually going to his church at that point. I would drive up, from Mankato up to the cities just to attend church with him. And he was up front playing his guitar, just really cool. And I think it was like the second or third time that we got together that he just said to me, one of these times you should really say the prayer accepting Jesus into your heart. And I just said to him, kind of the same thing that I said before. I don't think I'm ready. But I said it for completely different reasons. The first time I said it, I didn't believe it. But the second time I believed it. But I didn't think I was ready because I didn't think I was good enough yet. I felt like I needed to clean up my act before I would be, worthy to accept him into my life like that. And he said, if you believe, you should really just say the prayer right now. And he was saying, I can repeat some words to you, or I can give you some words to say, if that's easier for you. And I said, no, I want them to be my own words. I want it to be sincere. This is too important of a decision. So he put his hand on my head, and I said a heartfelt prayer. I admitted that I was a sinner, and I accepted Jesus. But I had kind of this anxiety that I wasn't good enough yet. And this led into the next miracle that happened actually that same day. The next two miracles happened the same day, right the same day I accepted Jesus Christ. So I'll get into that more tomorrow, but I just want to thank Casey Franklin for leading me to Christ. That was, for me, that was a Grand Slam home run. There's nothing that I will ever do that will be bigger than that. So thank you so much.